Hello. Welcome to the next in the series of review clips designed to assist you in preparing for your Biology 3201 public examination. In this clip, we'll be taking a look at the topic of evolution. We can define evolution as being the relative change in the characteristics of a population over successive generations. A population is the smallest unit that is capable of evolving, and any shift in a gene pool is also termed to be evolution. If evolution is the change in characteristics of a population over successive generations, then the question has to be asked, how do these characteristics actually change? The answer is that it happens with the help of adaptations and variations. We define an adaptation as being a particular structure, physiology, or behavior that helps an organism survive and reproduce in a particular environment. Examples of adaptation include camouflage to blend in and avoid predation, an excellent sense of smell to detect when predators are approaching, hearing, vision, and the like. We define variation as being a significant deviation from the normal biological form, function, or structure. An albino moose, a partially striped zebra, etc. All of those are variations. If we look closely at one particular example, that being the case of the peppered moth in England, it provides a case of natural selection and adaptation at play. The peppered moth as a species occurs in one of two variations. There is the flecked form, which is white wings with flecks of black, or the black form, where the wing color is solid black. Up until the mid-1900s, the flecked moths lived and fed upon lichens and trees in England. These flecked moths, which were primarily white, were camouflaged against the white background of the lichens. The black moths were easily seen and preyed upon. Under this set of circumstances, the flecked moths were able to survive and pass on their genes to their offspring. You see here in front of you a picture of those very moths. On the left, you see a picture of both moths on a lichen-covered tree. You can see the white moth as I'm outlining here. It very easily blends in, very much blends in with the background. The black moth stands out. It will be easily picked off and preyed upon. On a soot-covered tree, the exact opposite is the case. Here, you can see the white moth stands out. The black moth blends in. In these two environments, there would be a different rate of predation on the moth species, on the moth variations. When the Industrial Revolution struck in England, black moths were able to gain an advantage over the flecked. Soot from factories killed the lichens and covered trees, providing an excellent source of camouflage for the black moth. Now, under these circumstances, as illustrated on the right, the flecked moths were easily seen and subsequently eaten. The black moths survived and passed on their genes onto their offspring. The ratio of black moths to flecked moths was about to change again. In the 1950s, Britain adopted a clean air policy, which allowed lichens to start regrowing on the trees. As a result, the flecked moths were well camouflaged. The black moths were now easily seen and eaten. The ratio of black to fleck was changing again. In 1959, 9 of 10 were black. In 1985, 5 of 10 were black. 89, 3 of 10. And by the year 2010, the black moth will be as rare as it was before the Industrial Revolution as it is presently now. Very much an insignificant portion of the population. This was done through natural selection, which we'll talk much more about as the unit progresses. In the early 1850s, moths were mostly flecked, some black. Flecked ones survived because they were camouflaged. In the 1900s, air pollution made trees black. Black moths were able to survive. In the 1950s, pollution controls were in place, and the flecked moth began surviving again. We can define natural selection as being the process whereby the characteristics of a population changes because individuals with certain heritable traits survive local environments and pass their traits to their offspring. The peppered moth clearly demonstrates natural selection at work. So we look at what these are. Natural selection can be defined as unequal success in terms of reproduction. Adaptations are inherited characteristics that enhance an organism's ability to survive and reproduce in certain environments. Throughout our lifetime, we've seen antibiotic resistance develop. That's natural selection. Pesticide resistance. The acquired immune deficiency syndrome taking place with the virus evolving there. The peppered moth. All those provide examples of evolution that we have seen. In past public examinations, questions have been posed on this topic. I present the following. What is the meaning of the term evolution? Evolution is change over time, gradual change over time. The correct answer is B, gradual change in species that can occur over time. It is not stability of a species. It is not immediate changes, nor is it for every new species an old one vanishes. The correct answer is indeed B. Another example, which is an example of modern-day natural selection, analogous structures. That is not modern-day natural selection, is physiological features of organisms. Cloning, this does not fit the bill either. Comparative anatomy is comparing different organisms by way of their anatomical features. The correct answer is indeed D, industrial melanism. And finally, I present the following. Which statement best describes evolution? This is best described by a change in the characteristics of populations over generations. Thank you for your attention. I hope you found this learning clip to be helpful.